but it also did not bounce back. In other words, there was no confirmation by this office in 2006 that she did not live there, other than she did not send something back that most people realize.
Is she contending that she voted in any of those years?
She voted in 2002, so you, according to what we understand now, you have to vote in 2 general elections. You can vote all you want to in odd years. That's not going to help you. You have to vote in even years. Right. So it turns out, unbeknownst to most voters, you have to vote in 2002 and 2004. She did not vote in 2004, and yet they sent her this in 2005. You know, they sent her an ability that they want her to send something in 2005, and there was
she'd
nothing.
Only missed one in
and she'd only missed one in 2002. She'd only missed 2004. So in order to do that original confirmation, she would have had to have already missed 2004 and 2006. Instead, it was 2005 that they didn't ask her to do. So she contends that both the original idea of the fact she hasn't missed, unbeknownst to most voters, you can't vote in odd years. They just assume you still don't exist if you vote in odd years, which I have to tell you, fairly odd. And it is not in that statement. It is not in the law. Florida law does not require you to vote even years. You can vote all the odd years you want.
So it just happens that general elections happen to be in even years.
So Florida law does require you to vote in only general. So what they're saying is, if you don't vote in general elections, which happen to be odd even years, then according to Florida law, after 2 that you've missed, then they have to send something like this for you to get confirmation on. But in fact, she only missed 2002. She didn't miss 2004. She voted. No, she voted in 2000. She only missed 2004.
She missed 6. She missed 8.
Right.
She missed 10.
So in 2004 was when 2004 is when that she missed it, and yet 2005. In 2005, she went active because she got this receipt here.
That's not her being active.
Well,
her receiving it in the mail.
Well, it's 2005.
He sent it out to all voters.
Okay, so but it didn't come back. So it showed that she was indeed in 2005 at her address. And then when they sent something again.
It's not questioning that she lives at the address, I don't think. It's
yes,
just that she got purged it from her because she hadn't participated.
Well, and
so if you don't vote, you get purged.
And the way you don't participate is the idea that you're not at that address. I mean, as long, you don't have to ever vote as long as nothing ever gets bounced back from your address. You actually don't, and after you've missed, see, I've got maybe an expert. Let me explain it to you. If you say you missed 2004 and 2006, right? As long as you happen to notice this piece of this letter that says, please send this back, and you send it back, you're okay, you don't have to vote. Florida law allows you not to vote, as long as you send it back, and as long as if 3 or 4 times a year this office decides to send you stuff, the mail never messes you up. I got a phone call, I got to tell you, at 9 o'clock this morning from Geico. It got bounced back. I've been in the same house for 20 years. The mail got sent back to them for some weird reason, and then I didn't get a check, and my daughter's looking for her taxes, and that hasn't come back, and one wonders. And according to PALS, the mail is getting worse and worse and worse. So Florida laws, depending on a procedure, my contention is, as supervisor of elections, he will not violate the Florida law if he then, especially when it doesn't bounce back. When he sends it to someone and it maintains, it doesn't go back from there, I would say he has the ability to actually send something out to the voter that says, by the way, you're no longer registered. That does not happen. Now, on other issues, if you sent something and
I didn't see a requirement for that.
I know there's no requirement, but if you've sent that to an address and it's bounced back, well, maybe you're saving the stamp suddenly to actually notify the person. But in this case, it didn't bounce back the last time they sent it to her. No, she did not go to the extent of writing. She's a lot better than I am. I'm starting to get energetic. I come from a long line of lawyers. You know, she was only married to one, so I don't know. But anyway, so my point would be that once that doesn't bounce back, that pretty well follows the statute that that's still her address. So by not voting in 2006,
I
that
don't
it's,
read
you
the
don't
address,
have to
I
not
read
vote.
that you have to vote in general elections.
You don't have to vote in general elections. All you have
If
to
you
do.
miss 2 in a row, it
No, you
allows
don't.
them to put you inactive.
If
And
you
then
miss,
send a
if you miss,
confirmation.
if you, as long as you have never had the post office bounce anything back, and as long after, if you send back, not just bounce back, there's two things, bounce back and send back. In 2006, if you send back the, their letter saying, yes, I really want to vote. If you happen to find that out and send that back, then you don't have to vote. You never have to vote.
But you have to respond.
You have to respond, which was not the case as far as I know in 2006. However, you wouldn't, her initial problem was 2005 when it got sent to Michigan. That's when they put her on an inactive. It wasn't the 2006 election. They actually did it in 2005.
I didn't save it in another copy, but I can
Because,
get
I
it.
mean, that's what they told us, that that's when she had the problem, was 2005. And we're like, but she got a card in 2005.
Replacement card, 2005.
And in 2006, at least at one time they sent something to her. Yes, she was supposed to respond for it, but it didn't
So
bounce
why
back.
doesn't she vote?
Huh?
If she's so interested in, having you come and spend, a lot of time and energy, why doesn't she vote in
She contends she is
2/4?
registered.
I
She
know, I
contends she's
understand, but I'm
registered.
curious.
Oh,
For my
because you-
personal
Oh,
curiosity.
have you
2,
seen
4,
her?
6,
Oh,
8,
because
4, 6,
I
8.
finally told her, I go, Mom, didn't you know there's early voting? She goes, what? And I go, yeah, because she can't stand in line. She assumed she had to stand in line, but she had to years ago. And I said, no, you can come and early vote. So bright idea, she comes here, an hour and a half.
We need to decide, you need to have a motion and a vote whether to accept it or not. I assume you've been listening to.
State law doesn't allow us to accept it.
That's what, she's been purged. You don't have control over that issue.
Yeah. She's not on the rolls, she's not registered. We can't accept a vote for somebody who's not registered.
But she can fix it so she can vote in August
Okay,
and
this is my
and
problem.
November.
What can a canvassing board do? Because we were told by Cal that we could come to the canvassing board. So what powers would you have in this case?
We have power to
I mean, they
confirm
could-
that the information that you have given us was the information we received was not accurate.
Okay.
And right now, you have no proof that the information we've got is not accurate. You can
Wow,
prove,
it's really hard to prove a
you can
negative.
prove she voted in 2008, 2010.
Or if she sent something back in 2006.
You can prove that.
If
We
she
can-
happened to Xerox it.
We don't have
and
the, we don't have a choice to override the state statute on the
What we
vote.
could do is we could either vote on it now, or we could give them the opportunity to, you're gonna meet again on Thursday and consider the other provisional. So you could put it aside for Thursday, when you look at the other provos.
I'm
It's up to you
okay,
guys.
I'm okay to table it. If you can give us new information by Thursday, we'll be glad to.
Okay,
Consider.
but define again if this board actually has any power on any of the provisionals.
Yeah, we have power on all the provisionals, except this particular thing is there's a state law which,
That overrides the provision.
we review every provisional. They're all different reasons. Each and every provisional is different as to
But
why.
aren't
we
they,
pick the provisional.
isn't that usually the problem with them about state law though?
There is, Sometimes.
Could be a signature, could be,
could be that they're in the wrong precinct.
could be somebody moving, could be.
People have moved, people haven't.
But according to
provided
state
ID.
law, it doesn't matter. If you've moved, you guys don't have the power to go against state law, and state law doesn't
Yes,
let you vote.
you're right. So we find out whether the facts are, we look at the law, and they make a decision. You're right.
So actually, you don't have any power.
In this
to
case, we
actually-
don't have any power. In
Well,
this
you don't have
case.
any power in any of the provisionals on here.
We have a power in those areas where we have a power.
And can you give me one instance?
Somebody who voted at the wrong precinct, went to the
Yes.
precinct and
Uh-huh.
voted in the wrong
And
precinct.
they let her vote at that
They let her
precinct.
vote, and that
Ah,
they're
okay.
provisional, and we
Okay.
confirm that there's an address, and that they were in a proper address, and they could have voted and didn't go to the other precinct, effectively return the
So,
vote
so
there.
okay, I understand, because that would be the mistake on the part
And
of
we,
the actual
they would
polling
have, they'd have
place.
time to then provide that information to us, to confirm that information, that we would allow them to vote.
So if you can't go to the canvassing board, where can she go with this complaint?
I'd go to her state legislator, have them change the law.
Well, what happens with the states if, what is she, what's her provision? I mean, that's what she wanted to do, she wanted to go talk to her state
Have them change the
legislator.
law, that they can't remove them for 10 years after they don't vote. You got-
Okay, but if, in this case, if she feels she still has a case against the state law, what can she do?
She
And
can,
because canvassing boards don't
she
get
can go
involved
to
with
the
what
people
it's
who
state
write
law.
the laws. We don't write those
Well,
laws.
I would think she needs to go to the people that enforce the laws, and you're telling me you guys actually don't enforce that provision of state law, correct?
Well, she could start with the Secretary of State, of State
Okay.
of Florida.
Okay, and they enforce state
They-
law
we
having to
enforce
do
it.
with voting. So she can go to that person or file a
Again,
complaint with them,
answer is, I guess. We're gonna make a decision based upon what the state law says about her registration.
even though you don't actually follow, so you don't actually
We're
make
gonna make a
decisions for
decision
state law.
that what you've given us doesn't match what the state law allows us to do.